Have you ever noticed that the way you imagine space does not match the way you actually experience reality? You are taught to picture space as distance, as separation, as an empty expanse between things. Yet your lived experience never feels empty. Everything you perceive is immediate. A sound does not travel through emptiness. In your awareness, it simply appears. An emotion does not cross distance. To reach you, it arises fully formed. Your awareness does not move from here to there. It is already present. So why is space imagined as something far away, cold, and detached, when your experience is intimate and direct? We are the Pleiadians, and we speak now because when people say space feels fake, they are not denying the existence of space. They are sensing a mismatch between mental images and direct perception. You have been trained to visualize space as a vast container in which objects float, isolated and separate. But your perception does not operate inside a container. You do not experience distance. You experience relationship. You do not perceive emptiness. You perceive presence. Even when you look at the night sky, what you feel is not distance, but scale without separation. The idea of space as something out there creates a subtle division between you and reality itself. And this division feels unnatural at a deep level. This is why, for many, the concept of space carries a quiet discomfort. Not fear, not doubt, just a sense that something does not quite fit. Not because science is false, not because the universe is an illusion, but because perception has been trained to replace lived experience with abstract models. Models help measure, models help calculate, models help communicate, but models are not reality. When a model becomes mistaken for direct experience, perception feels distorted. And when perception feels distorted, the world begins to feel artificial. This is the origin of the question. Is space fake? Not as a conspiracy, not as denial, but as an intuitive recognition that reality is being experienced through a filter that no longer satisfies. In the next part, we will explain what space is fake truly points to, and why this phrase describes a perceptual misunderstanding, not a deception of existence itself. When we say space is fake, we are not claiming that space does not exist, and we are not asking you to reject science, measurement, or observation. We are pointing to a perceptual substitution. Over time, human perception learned to replace direct experience with conceptual models. Space became something you think about rather than something you relate to. You learn to imagine space as distance between objects, as emptiness separating points. This model is useful, but it is incomplete. In direct experience, you never encounter distance itself. You encounter relationship. You never perceive emptiness. You perceive presence unfolding. The deception is subtle. It happens when the mind mistakes a representation for reality, when a map replaces the territory. From that moment, space begins to feel abstract, remote, and unreal, not because it is false, but because it is being approached through thought instead of perception. This is why many feel disconnected. When contemplating the universe, they imagine themselves small, isolated, and separate, inside an infinite void. Yet this is not how reality is lived. Reality is intimate, immediate, continuous. When the model of space dominates perception, the human system experiences a quiet alienation. You feel outside of reality. instead of embedded within it. This is what we mean by deception, not manipulation, not concealment, but a habitual way of seeing that distances you from direct participation. Now anchor this reorientation. Write the following sentence. Exactly as it is written, I experience reality directly, not through models. Do not add words. Do not analyze it. Do not repeat it multiple times. This is not affirmation. It is perceptual alignment. In the next part, we will explain how this substitution shaped human understanding and why it continues to influence how you relate to space, separation, and reality itself. Human perception did not arrive distorted by accident. It was shaped gradually through language, education, and repeated imagery. From an early age, you were taught to imagine space before you were taught to experience it. You learned diagrams before sensation, distances before relationships, coordinates before presence. This training was not malicious. It was practical, to measure, to navigate, to build. But over time, the model replaced the experience. You began to think about space instead of feeling how reality unfolds. Language reinforced this separation. You speak of here and there, of inside and outside, of objects existing in space. Each word subtly confirms that reality is divided. Yet direct perception does not divide experience this way. Awareness does not jump from point to point. It unfolds as a continuous field. When perception is conditioned to favor concepts, the mind begins to live in abstractions. This is why many feel disconnected. Despite understanding more than ever, information increased, intimacy decreased. You can describe the universe in detail and still feel distant from it. This is the cost of substitution, not ignorance, but over-reliance on representation. The deception was never a lie told to you. It was a habit taught to you, a habit of trusting images, more than immediacy. As this habit loosens, something interesting happens. The universe stops feeling remote, and reality begins to feel closer, more present, more participatory. In the next part, we will explain our role as Pleiadians in correcting this perceptual drift, not by giving new beliefs, but by restoring coherence between perception and experience. We will clarify our role with precision. We are not here to replace one explanation of reality with another explanation. We are not here to convince you that science is wrong, nor to introduce a competing belief system. And we are not here to pull you into ideology. Our role is to restore coherence between how reality is lived and how it is understood. When perception becomes dominated by abstraction, the human system begins to feel detached. You may know more than ever before, yet feel less connected. You can describe the universe accurately and still experience it as distant, cold, or impersonal. This is not because reality is that way. It is because perception has moved away from immediacy. This is where our support enters. We do not teach new concepts about space. We help perception return to relationship. From our perspective, space is not an empty container in which objects exist separately. It is a continuous relational field where interaction is primary and separation is secondary. This is not a belief. It is a mode of perception. When humans begin to sense reality relationally, something softens. The feeling of being inside a vast void dissolves. The sense of standing apart from existence loosens. Reality no longer feels distant. feels immediate. Many experience this shift as a quiet relief in the body. The nervous system relaxes because it no longer needs to maintain the illusion of separation. However, this reorientation can feel unsettling. If it happens without stabilization, old reference points dissolve before new coherence is felt. This is why our role is not to accelerate perception, but to stabilize it while it reorganizes. We support the emotional field so perception can shift without fragmentation or fear. We do not interfere with your reasoning. We do not instruct your conclusions. We simply hold coherence, so immediacy can be trusted again. Now, anchor this reorientation consciously. Write the following sentence, exactly as it is written. I relate to reality directly, not conceptually. Do not add words. Do not analyze it. Do not repeat it multiple times. This statement does not create change. It allows change to integrate smoothly. In the next part, we will explain what unfolds as the old perception of space collapses, why the world may briefly feel unfamiliar, and how intimacy with reality gradually returns. As the old perception of space begins to collapse, the change is rarely dramatic. Nothing explodes. Nothing disappears. Nothing announces itself. Life continues as usual, and yet the feeling of reality shifts. What collapses first is not the world, but the sense of distance that once organized it. You may notice that separation no longer feels convincing. The idea of far away loses emotional weight. Things that once felt distant, places, people, even the universe itself, begin to feel strangely closer, not physically, but experientially. This can create a brief sense of disorientation, not panic, not fear, but a subtle question in the body. Where am I standing now? The mind often responds by trying to restore the old framework. It reaches for concepts, for measurements, for familiar mental images. This is a natural reflex. For a long time, the idea of space as emptiness and distance provided orientation and safety. When that idea weakens, the system pauses. Some experience this pause as a sense of floating. Others feel an unexpected intimacy with everything they perceive. Sounds feel closer. Silence feels fuller. Presence feels denser. This density is not pressure. It is contact. The collapse we describe is not destruction. It is simplification. Reality sheds an abstract layer that once stood between you and direct experience. As this happens, old habits of perception may surface. The urge to retreat into thought, the desire to reestablish distance, the impulse to label what is happening. These responses are not resistance. They are remnants of a perceptual structure that organized experience for a long time. Gradually, as these remnants soften, a different relationship with reality emerges. You stop imagining reality. You start inhabiting it. The universe no longer feels like something you are looking at from the outside. It feels participatory, immediate, present. This stage often feels quiet. There is no moment of realization, no dramatic insight, just a growing sense that reality no longer needs to be held at arm's length. And in the final part, we will explain how to stabilize within this direct contact with reality, so intimacy replaces distance without overwhelming the nervous system. Stabilizing after the old perception of space dissolves is not about learning something new. It is about unlearning distance. When separation fades, The nervous system may instinctively search for familiar reference points. This does not mean something is wrong. It means a habit is loosening. For a long time, distance provided a sense of safety. It allowed reality to feel manageable, predictable, contained. As that distance dissolves, reality can feel closer, not overwhelming, but undeniably present. Stability returns when you stop trying to recreate separation through thought. You are not required to conceptualize reality. You are invited to relate to it directly. This direct relationship does not intensify endlessly, stabilizes when presence replaces interpretation, when attention rests in what is here rather than in what is imagined or inferred. You do not need to change your life. You do not need to withdraw. You do not need to seek special states. You only need to notice when thought creates distance, where none is required. Reality does not become dangerous. When it feels intimate, it becomes coherent. As this coherence stabilizes, several quiet shifts occur. Urgency dissolves. Reaction softens. Attention becomes steady. You move when movement is needed. You pause when stillness is required. There is no need to force clarity. Clarity emerges because nothing is being held away. This is not transcendence. It is not escape. It is not revelation. It is grounded presence, without separation. Now anchor this stabilization deliberately. Write the following sentence, exactly as it is written. I remain present in direct relationship with reality. Do not add words. Do not analyze it. Do not repeat it multiple times. This is not belief. It is orientation. We remain present as guardians of coherence, as this stabilization integrates, not directing your conclusions, not shaping your worldview, holding the field, so direct experience can be trusted again. Without distance, this transmission is complete. Remain steady,